Welcome back to Taking Credit For's month of anime. We're doing our second film review, and this time it's me, Scott, as usual.
Oh, it's Lucas.
And Ben.
And the three of us sat down and watched Dragon Ball Super Presents Broly, the major motion picture. I think that's what it was called.
And probably something like that.
I think something to that effect.
It was a good movie, though.
It was very good.
Skipping right to the final judgments right at the beginning of the
Nope, that's the end of the podcast.
Well, we've reviewed it.
Yeah, 30. Thanks for listening to our 30-second review. It's a good movie. Watch it.
It's more in keeping with the original concept of the Taking Credit For brand, where we were just going to do the film review over the course of the credits of the film.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. That's where the name came from.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I thought so, right? So we're here. It's we're coming to nearing the end of anime at this point, and we decided that we were going to watch the Dragon Ball film that none of us had seen, but all of us were interested in.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't watch it, but
you didn't watch it so that we could watch it.
No, but I mean, I should have watched it months and months ago.
That's fair.
Before I was a part of this channel.
That's fair. So I'm going to just kick things off a little bit. I personally got into Dragon Ball because growing up, my older sibling and Lucas were both really into Dragon Ball, and I wanted to be able to have something to talk about with them. So I was like, I understand Pokemon and Dragon Ball. I didn't really, though. I wasn't great for it. So my understanding of things is very tertiary, very peripheral.
Mm-hmm.
I got to know these characters out of conversations that they would have and stuff like that.
Right.
And I didn't really watch the show very much, which is like...
Well, there's a lot of it.
There's so much of that show.
Much.
Yeah.
I watched an episode of a TV show that I kind of caught after the intro and the title card, kind of thing, so I didn't know what it was. And it had a boy that turned into a giant monkey and destroyed a castle. And then I remember at the end, for the end credits, he was riding away on a cloud. And I was later to learn when I watched Dragon Ball, which I had not been, super interested in, or really, it wasn't, I'm not allowed to watch it kind of thing. It was more, discouraged to watch it.
Sure.
And so when I was, kind of older, I went back and I watched all of Dragon Ball, all of Dragon Ball Z, and all of GT. And I realized that the TV show that I had seen when I was a probably 4-year-old child living in England. 45
years ago, give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, fuck you. I realized that TV show was Dragon Ball. And I was like, holy fuck, I've seen an episode of Dragon Ball all this time. And so that was how I knew that. But,
that's a deep cut.
I hadn't watched, the show at all. But I fucking watched it and loved it when I was in my...
A wee bab.
Well, yeah, when I was 4 years old, and then also when I was probably 15.
So 30 years ago?
Yeah, about 30 years ago.
But yeah, I played a bunch of the games with Luke. Luke was kind of the person in my life who knew about Dragon Ball. So... I'm going to be relying on the two of you guys a lot for, lore implication when we're talking about the plot.
I will say I came late to the party, but, I fucking know my shit about Dragon Ball now.
That is good.
I didn't watch it when I was a kid on TV. I went to the fucking, wherever I could to watch it after the fact.
One of those, curtain peep shows that you pay a nickel and you get to slide a curtain open and see one of the fight scenes.
Oh, also, I caught the tail end of an episode when I was waiting for Pokemon to come on, because Dragon Ball Z was on before Pokemon, and I saw Hercule Satan standing in a cape and assumed he was the main character.
I mean,
I saw an episode of the Cell
wish.
Game. I think I saw Hercule Satan, and then I saw a behind shot of Piccolo flying.
So mostly Piccolo's ass,
but mostly Piccolo's cape.
Oh,
so I thought they were the same person because I didn't see the green, and I thought that they were the same character. I was disappointed to learn that Hercule Satan is not the main character. Akira Toriyama, if you're out there, I would watch the fuck out of that show. So
give us a 10 episode miniseries about Hercule Satan, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, even just give me a 5 episode miniseries just about Hercule, and I'm good.
Yeah, as long as there's more screen time for Hercule than any other character.
Mm-hmm. Best character, handled by most.
A young Hercule. And
in his prime.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
almost
In the
like
prime
Young
of his life.
Hercules starring Ryan Gosling, except this will be Young Hercule also starring Ryan Gosling. Nothing?
Brilliant.
You guys? No? It's a genius. Fucking, we'll
Wait.
kickstart it, whatever.
Oh, I just got it. I just got that.
Thank you.
Hercules.
Yeah.
No, I meant Ryan Gosling because he was Hercules as a young
He
teenager.
was
Oh,
Young
yes,
Hercules. So,
Yeah.
that was the...
Right,
Thank
right.
you. Thank you for joining me here at the bit. All right, so should we... Let's talk about what happened in the movie a little bit.
There was a very thirsty alien.
Well, I was going to kind of start chronologically, but you did jump into a good plot point where there's a green alien dressed as a Saiyan who just wants Broly's dick.
She just wants to fuck Broly.
A lot. And, like, who can blame her?
I mean,
He's a charming young lad.
well, I wouldn't say so much charming young lad unless you're equating charming young lad to
Gigantic cock.
having like a 10-pack
Yeah.
as well is the big one.
He's very well spoken.
Yes.
All right, so paint the scene. We start on planet Vegeta. King Vegeta and all of the Saiyans are there. King Cold, old King Cold was a merry old soul,
Was a
and
merry
a merry
old
old
soul.
soul was he. He shows up and he says, "Hey, fuck you, Saiyans! My kid Frieza's in charge now." All of the Saiyans are like, "That's bad news for us because Frieza sucks." Frieza proceeds to kill 7 or so sharpshooters, just like to show that he can.
And also they had guns trained on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And
you're missing.
He was
point
showing
there.
off the scouter.
Exactly.
Yes, he was showing up the brand new scouter that plugs right into your ears and is a telecoms, but also, as it turns out, a means by which Frieza can spy on the Saiyans.
Yeah, what was cool about that is they showed like the old technology and they were like, this is the scouter, it's a super advanced technological thing, but then they were also like, it's better than the old thing, and here's that.
And then they show the old thing, and it's like this weird handheld, like point and click, like
Yeah.
you're playing House of the Dead, and you're trying to figure out which people are zombies, so you know
Man,
who
I
to shoot.
fucking love
and
House
it's
of the Dead.
Right? Yeah. So Frieza's flexing his weak-ass baby muscles. He's like 9 years old, and he sucks. And then King Vegeta goes to check on Prince Vegeta the First, I presume.
He's the fourth, isn't
No, he's
he?
the fourth.
That was the fourth one?
They call him the fourth.
You know, I know they call the one that is Vegeta later on in the film the fourth. I didn't know if that was the fourth. Like, if that was the same one.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yes, is that the same? Like, our Vegeta was the baby?
Our Vegeta was the baby Vegeta.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Baby
That's good to
Broly
know.
gets sent away. Baby Goku is also sent away.
Well, yes, okay, we're getting there, man. You're stepping on so many chronological plot points. There's a peasant fighter baby next to Prince Vegeta baby, and King Vegeta's pissed. He's mad
like,
about
why
it.
is this runt baby asshole next to my superior royal baby?
And then they flash their House of the Dead scouter at him, and he's like, wow, this baby could kill me now, and I'm an adult human.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's crazy. We're gonna shoot this baby into the sun.
Yeah.
But they missed the sun.
But they missed the... Well, they choose a planet that's as desolate as your average sun, but with ground to stand on.
Yes.
So, like, it's... You know, they
There's
give
bug
them a
monsters and
fighting chance. Well,
giant.
but they don't know that. They know it's uninhabited. Right?
But it's not
You guys
really.
keep... we guys hit these things as they come, or else we lose the dramatic emphasis. So... Broly's dad, Papa Broly, is like, hey, you're sending my son off to a foreign planet to try and subjugate it, but also it's a planet that has nothing on it except death. Why are you doing it? And King Vegeta's like,
Fuck
fuck
you.
He'll-
your baby?
Well, he's like, specifically, he's like, if we don't do it, he'll fuck us all.
Which is a fair point. Which becomes a prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of funny. I hate prophecies in movies. But they send baby Broly off to hell, and then Papa Broly's like, I'm gonna save my kid.
You can't say they sent him to hell because hell's a real place that exists in the
Okay,
Dragon Ball
they
canon.
send baby Broly to the bad place.
Sorry, Heffel. Heffel is the place that exists in the Dragon Ball canon.
So they
If
send
you're
him...
watching the dub, which we did.
We yes, of course. We watched
right.
the English dub instead of the Japanese dub. So, baby Broly goes to the bad place and subjugates it, despite the fact that he's a baby, and also that shouldn't happen.
He masters his environment for sure.
Very effectively. And Papa Broly shows up only 2 days late, according to his timeline. And I guess according to his pseudo-Gregorian understanding of how days work, I don't know. That's a little
They
weird.
never make it clear if it's like they are speaking an alien Saiyan language that is being translated for the benefit of the viewer,
or if what they're saying is directly translated.
And so they're like, it's been 2 days, and you're like, why are they using Earth days? Well, they're using whatever time they use, but it's being quantified for us as 2 Earth days.
So it's vague.
Yes.
But they show up, and Baby Broly has beaten the shit out of, like, some horrendous monsters.
Many bugs.
And, like, eaten them, and lives inside some of them now.
Hulls their skin.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a great thing. And we get introduced to these big, sort of fuzzy Shenron-looking guys that are like...
They're like wolves.
Fuzzy wolf worms.
Picture, like, a grassy field and a wolf, and
then they
combine
fucked.
them together. And
then
that's kind of what you get.
Exactly. And then Papa Broly shoots and kills his right-hand man so that do they eat his corpse? What was the play there?
Oh, I think it was just like, he just wanted some time with his son, and this
but
third wheel was just
the whole thing,
there.
like they were gonna try and blast off of the planet, and it was like the main lift thing.
Floater.
Yeah, the floater. Thank you. The
floater.
prime floater for the pod is broken because we crash landed, so we can't get off the planet. And then he said something, but we were all talking over it. And then Papa Broly shoots him in the chest and says, "Sucks to suck, and then you die," essentially. And it's like, I think there was a purpose to that. But I don't know what it was.
I don't know. It could have been it could have been like simple resource management or something.
Exactly. Like there's enough food for 2 of us. Pa-pow.
Yeah.
Like something like that. Yeah. But
maybe he wanted to kill Broly or something.
I don't.
There's no way he could have. He was stronger than him already.
Yeah, Broly.
That's true, but there was
Broly
2 of them, and if you could convince Broly's dad to kill Broly, which I will admit would be a hard sell in that moment.
It's a tough look. Yeah. So, anyways, we are introduced to Papa Broly and Broly trapped on planet Vampa, which is kind of like a vampire. Vampa? I don't know.
Yeah.
But they are stuck there for many years. Cut to 5 years later. We've got... That was where the time jump happened,
5
right?
years later?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a 5-year time jump, and then Bardock...
Oh, yeah, okay.
Returns to Planet Vegeta.
You're right.
Yeah. See, I was paying attention. But Bardock, who those of you who know Dragon Ball are aware of, but Bardock is the father of Kakarot, who's also Goku.
It's true.
And Bardock is returning to Planet Vegeta, questioning his return call.
Yeah, it's kind of made... It's sort of like a little bit vague, I think. I'm not actually sure if they kind of retconned the whole being able to see the future out of it.
I think they must have.
I think they did. Now he's just like some sort of detective, and he's just like... Not that I'm saying it makes more sense for a man to be able to see the future than to just have like a functioning sense of deductive reasoning, but like he comes down suspicious, and they definitely don't make it clear, 100% clear, if he's suspicious because of visions he's been having, or if he's suspicious because of the situation being fishy.
Well, to the credit of that, which we typically take, that was a
title drop.
Thank you. They're rolling in, and it's established that the Saiyans don't trust Frieza. They work under Frieza, but they work as like labor
slaves,
like
slaves.
Not exactly slaves, but
they
close to slaves.
They say the word slaves.
I know, but it's just like it's not exact because they get to go out and do the job, but they have to do the job for Frieza.
Yes.
So there's like a little bit of a dichotomy there, which is interesting. But they're coming in, and he's like, "Why the fuck didn't Frieza just send us all a message on our Textaruno devices? Or why didn't he said that there were weapons? Why didn't he just send them to all of us? It seems fishy." So they established the fact that Bardock thinks that the setting is kind of fishy, and then he notices that Frieza's ship is in orbit, but has not come to the surface, despite the fact that he called the people to come and see him speak. So, they establish kind of 3 ways that Bardock has reason to be suspicious, which I think is kind of an effective way to circumvent the fact that he doesn't necessarily have the ability to see the future.
Yeah, and I can't remember. It's been a long time since I saw Bardock, father of Goku, but I can't remember if, in that he still had the, future vision stuff.
Now, would it be better if it were called Bardock, Daddy of Goku?
Bardock, Daddy's home.
Knock, knock, Daddy's here. Alright, so Bardock gets to the planet. He's like, everything's fucked. Honey, Goku's mom, I don't know what your name is. It's all terrible. And he and she are like, we're going to put our precious child Kakarot in this pod and send him to hell. But not real hell, because hell's a place that exists.
Yes.
And we gotta save our baby. And she's like, if we must. And he's like, if I'm wrong, I'll go get him later, I promise. And she's like, fine, seems extreme, but whatever.
All right.
And then Frieza torches the planet.
As he is wont to do.
And Bardock does the I'm gonna save the sane people move, which was very cool and very respectable.
Didn't work.
He got vaporized on screen. And Kakarot gets sent to Earth. Oh, that's...
And then all the sick montage.
Oh my god, the coolest transition.
Cool, very quick recap of
all Dragon Ball Z.
Luke, give me a quick breakdown on how cool this scene is. Just like...
It shows like still shots of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z in the background.
It's not just like still shots though. Like
it's like scenes of combat.
It shows like combat and like Goku will punch something and the camera will rotate around, and as it's rotating around, it gets older. And then like the person he's punching turns into Vegeta from like the Saiyan arc. And then it turns into Frieza and they're on Namek.
Yeah.
And then it like, oh man, it's good.
It's like the camera spins around the scene as punches are happening, and as the punches happen, it's like the characters who are fighting change and age, and it's super dynamic and crazy fucking cool.
Yeah,
and it sets to some rad ass butt rock.
Well, it's like that song is actually the Japanese intro for Dragon Ball Z. Like an instrumental version of I think it's Head Chala.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's the one, yeah.
And then it cuts to present day where Bulma bought an island where they can just fight.
Yeah, and it just like cuts into a sequence of Vegeta and Goku just sparring for funsies, but beating the ever-loving Saiyan shit out of each other.
Of course, because he gets stronger from recovering from damage.
Exactly. And so Bulma's sitting there and she's like, it's so great because we bought this island so that they can beat the fuck out of each other and not have to worry about hurting people. As she glances down to her child.
Yeah, if you have an island that you've bought so that two very strong people can fight without the risk of destroying things, because there is the risk of them destroying things, maybe don't bring your baby to that island.
I mean, but if anybody's baby could take that hit, no matter who she's married to, Bulma's baby could take that hit.
And I would argue, like, better chance of survival if she's married to Vegeta.
Oh, absolutely, yes. But, I mean...
I don't know if they've ever made it clear if they're married.
I mean...
Because I find it hard to imagine them sitting, like, Vegeta sitting through a wedding ceremony.
Yeah. I mean, but also he's stoic in so much as I could see him gritting his teeth through a wedding ceremony.
I mean, like, they showed Goku's wedding. They didn't show Vegeta's.
That's because they eloped in Vegas.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. That I could see. Just a super drunk Vegeta, like, staggering up to the altar with Bulma.
That'd be so good.
Anyway, so they're fighting.
Akira Toriyama. That one's free.
Yeah, come on.
Toriyama, come on. So they're fighting, and it's great. And our what's his name? Beerus.
And Whis.
Beerus and Whis. Thank you. The good naked Catman and the good naked Catman's orgasmic friend.
Yes.
Are on the beach with Bulma and the baby, just hanging out, enjoying the food, enjoying the sun, enjoying each other's company.
Pretty much.
And then Goku and Vegeta land and are done their spar, and they kind of do crisp high fives all around. Everybody, yeah, fuck yeah, all right, cool, slap. And then they get a video call from
Trunks, Kid Trunks.
I'm handing it off to you first.
Yeah, so Kid Trunks and Goten are at Bulma's house. In Capsule Corp with Shu Mai and Emperor Pilaf, who don't really have any lines or say anything or do anything.
Which is unfortunate because I love Pilaf.
They're very good.
Yeah.
So, you love the food or the character?
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you.
So they're calling because there was a robbery, and Bulma asks what was stolen. So Trunks checks the video feed instead of it being the immediately obvious most valuable thing in the room, which would have been the Dragon Balls, which aren't there.
Also, it's very funny the way that they pace it, because it's like Trunks is like, "There's been a break-in," and Bulma's like, "Was anything taken?" And he's like, "Huh. Let me check the footage," and like then he rolls it back. And
well,
like,
he's like 5, right?
Yeah, but it's like Trunks. If you know there was a break-in, come on, man.
Yeah, that's fair. But actually, I think they're like 8, 10 or 8.
I think it's
something like that. But anyway, so they check the footage. They see it's the Dragon Ball stolen, and it turns out that Bulma had 6 of the Dragon Balls
and the Dragon Radar.
The Dragon
Which
Radar
also
got stolen.
Yeah.
And so Trunks lets Bulma know that that's gone, and she's like, well, I know where the last Dragon Ball is anyway, so let's just head there. He also checks the footage and confirms that it looks like some people in armor that Vegeta used to wear.
Kind of like what Dad used to wear when he came to Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AKA Frieza armor.
Mm-hmm.
the thieves were wearing them. So they go to where the last Dragon Ball is, which happens to be in an ice world, and on the way...
I believe they refer to it as the Arctic region.
No, they just call it the ice region.
Thank you,
it's just
yes.
the ice region.
Yeah.
Like how it's South City, I guess.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
it's just the ice region.
General directions and weather patterns.
So they go there, and then on the way they have some banter about what Bulma's going to wish for. And she wants to be...
It's very funny,
She wants to be 5 years younger, not 10 years younger, because if she was 10 years younger...
It would be too obvious.
Whereas,
and people would start asking her who her surgeons were.
Exactly. She doesn't want that. 5 years younger, though, that's manageable. She can get away with that.
And Lucas, you mentioned that this is kind of like snowballing off of like the old age jokes from the World Tournament or whatever.
From the Battle Gods movie, where they joke about like you don't know how old she is until the end of the movie. And finally she's 30.
Yeah.
And she's super mad about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she's got to be older than 30, isn't she?
No, they say 30.
Do they say 30?
Mm-hmm.
I trust.
I also trust, but timelines are weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they do that whole thing, and then she has that bit, and they land, and then it turns out that 2 of Frieza's 4 soldiers have already grabbed the Dragon Balls, and then it cuts to inside Frieza's ship.
Yeah, and just side note, one of Frieza's soldiers that's like in the ice region just literally looks like Bob Hoskins playing Super Mario in the Super Mario Bros.
It's true.
Action film.
Yeah, it's true.
He's like, it's a pizza pie! And you're like, shut the fuck up. Anyway.
Pretty much, yeah. So then it cuts to inside Frieza's ship as he's being alerted that they have the last Dragon Ball. And one of the Frieza's soldiers asks him what he's going to wish for. He says, "Are you going to wish for immortality?" And Frieza's like, "No.
Immortality would be terrible.
Immortality would be terrible because the potential to be alive forever in a terrible situation would be unthinkable.
Stuck in Earth Hell.
After spending his time in Earth Hell, unable to die to escape it,
Mm-hmm.
it's a bad look. So no.
Yeah.
And so then he's like, what about a body that can't experience pain? And then Frieza's like, but then how would I entertain my kinks?
Yeah, he's like, I don't, that would make the fight too easy. Also, daddy, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so he's like, there's one of his other guards guesses what he's going to wish for. And she says that he thinks Frieza wants to be taller.
And the one guy's like, oh, I can't believe you said that. Master Frieza's killed subordinates for wanting, like, suggesting that he's short or whatever.
Yeah, but then it turns out that Frieza actually is okay with that because it's true.
It's legit.
Frieza wants to be wishing himself 5 centimeters taller so that it will look like he is still growing.
Not so that it looks like he wished himself taller, almost as if not that he wished himself too much younger, but so that he wished himself an appropriate height that it looks like he's still on his way to success.
Now, if you're all out there thinking the same thing that I thought, which is why couldn't he just regress back to his second form or something like that?
They address it.
Frieza wants to be taller.
Literally after you asked that.
Yeah,
oh, by the way, here's your answer.
Seconds away.
Ben sits there and he says, why the fuck doesn't he just go back to Form 2? And the guy in the scene is like, why don't you just regress to your most previous form, Master Frieza? And then Frieza's like, I want to be tall when I'm at rest, motherfucker.
Yeah, Frieza wants
as if he looked directly at Ben.
Frieza wants to be tall in Form 4 and Golden Form.
Yep.
That's what Frieza wants.
Yep.
So that's what Frieza wants to get. So they also, while this is happening, there's 2 Frieza soldiers that are kind of off out in space. And they come across a distress signal for an old Frieza Forces ship.
An old Frieza Force ship.
It's an old signal, but it checks out.
A signal that hasn't been used in years, one might say.
Yeah. So they land on this planet, and they find, what's his name? Pegasus?
Paragus.
Paragus, yeah. That was a good guess, actually.
Like asparagus.
Fuck!
They're all vegetables, my dude.
Yeah, I know.
So asparagus...
Especially Vegeta!
Asparagus and broccoli are hanging out on Planet Vargas, was it?
Vampa.
Vampa. Planet Vampa.
Yeah.
And these 2 aliens, one of them is the thirsty one, land.
Thirsty Broad and Old Orange Cheeto.
Yeah. And they land and they're like, whoa, you guys, are you Frieza soldiers? And they're like, hail Frieza. And then they collapse. And then they take them under the ship and take them back to Frieza. And Frieza's like, why are there more Saiyans?
I thought they all died. That was a real quote.
How are there more Saiyans? I thought all the Saiyans died.
Yeah.
Except Vegeta. And Asparagus is like, fuck, Vegeta's alive?
And Frieza, I believe at this point, is privy to the existence of Kakarot?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Frieza is, for sure.
Yeah.
Because, like, Frieza's fought him on Namek and everything.
Exactly.
Like,
just wanted to make sure.
They have history.
He's like, we know Vegeta's there, and we know Kaka Carrot Cake is there. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
And so we're introduced to Broly. There's like a scene in a lunchroom where the thirsty alien gets hit on because she wants the Broly D so bad.
God, her entire, like, every time it cuts to, like, her looking at Broly, it, like, starts from the ass and works its way up.
At one point, she tries to, like, flash her tits, but forgets she's wearing, like, a skin-tight jumpsuit.
She literally, pulls her... Yeah,
she like, has armor over the jumpsuit, and she, like, pulls off the armor, and is like, oh, wait, there's no point.
I'm wearing spandex,
yeah. So she gets hit on, obviously, by a giant, beefy, like, alien guy, and Broly almost kills him, but, Paragus uses the shock collar.
Yeah.
And kind of calls off his dog.
And so, earlier, just like one scene before this, just for the record, it's established that Paragus at some point either had a shock collar or created a shock collar because Broly got too powerful. Also, Broly was so powerful that Paragus had to cut off his monkey tail so that he could not go Super Monkey Saiyan times.
The Ozaru is what it's called.
Mine was equally good. But he's like, yeah, I cut off his tail so he can't go ape shit.
That's better.
And I also shock collared him so he can't go punch me shit.
Yeah. And so, the Cheeto guy and the thirsty alien think that that's a terrible thing to do to your son. And they're not wrong, but, like, it is for a reason. So they go up and they're like, okay, well, we're going to take that off of him. But so she pickpockets him and takes the thing.
She lifts the shock collar control.
So Paragus goes to have dinner with Frieza.
Mm-hmm.
And Broly has dinner with the aliens.
And they're just eating Vega bars, essentially. And
also water, which is something Broly has never had before.
Something new to Broly.
He's literally thirsty.
He's super thirsty.
He's thirsty literally the way that she is thirsty, dickfully.
Dickfully, yeah. And so, so she's like, hey, here's the thing that I stole from your dad. I'm going to break it. And then she breaks it. And then it just constantly shocks Broly, and he's just always electric.
Yeah.
Cuts to black.
It actually, it emaciates him into a skeletal corpse.
Yeah.
Like in the scene where Daniel Stern becomes a skeleton in Home Alone 1, where he's like, bah!
Yeah. No, it was a super weird choice for the movie, especially after how hyped up Broly is. But, I don't know, it worked.
And then he died, and then Kevin McAllister said, I'm not scared of you anymore.
No, it doesn't shock him. He's just thankful to have the button destroyed.
Yeah.
And so they ask him about the fur that he's wearing around his waist, and he points out that it was actually the fur of his animal friend, which was one of those big wolf field things.
The big...
his name was Ba.
Ba.
Yeah, Ba.
It was Ba. He named it Ba after the sound that it made sometimes, which kind of calls to question as to whether or not it was a sheep.
Yeah.
But it turns out that Paragus didn't like Broly playing with this thing. He thought it was playing, not training, so he shot its ear off.
Just in an act of pure cruelty.
Yeah, but then Ba decided that it hated both Broly and Paragus, and so didn't want to be friends. And so Broly started wearing its severed ear around his waist.
As like a emo kid wearing a flannel around their waist.
Yeah,
in high school to remember the good times.
Yeah. So we all show up on Earth. And we're all in the same place, because Bulma got there, and they saw the Frieza ship, and Frieza got there, and he saw the Frieza ship, and everyone's there, and Frieza has all the Dragon Balls. Which is never really a great thing, but in this particular instance, it actually doesn't matter.
He's not quick to act on it, yeah.
Not only is he not quick to act on it, fucking give him his wish. It's just the most benign wish.
His wish is literally 5 inches. It's not even the 5 inches you would think.
No, it's just 5 more inches. Because we know he doesn't have a dick, because I'm pretty sure he's not wearing clothes.
And it's not like a Shape of Water thing where it unsheathes or whatever.
Oh god.
Yikes. Yikes. So then Broly shows up and there's a conversation where they're like, hey, more Saiyans. And then he's like, that's Vegeta. And then Broly starts fighting them, basically. And that's pretty much the rest of the movie.
Yeah, basically the rest of the movie from this point forward until the epilogue is and then Broly punched, and Broly was punched.
Yeah. So it does do a cool thing where, Vegeta goes Super Saiyan, and Paragus is like, I thought that was just a legend. And then Vegeta goes Super Saiyan God, which was like, whoa, when did that happen? And then Goku gets his turn, and he goes Super Saiyan Blue, and he gets the shit kicked out of him. And this whole time, Broly is almost Super Saiyan.
He's not quite Super Saiyan. He's channeling the energy, but his hair hasn't changed.
And I think by the time Goku gets to Super Saiyan Blue, then he's got like the blonde hair, but not like the legendary like green.
He's like Saiyan 0.5 at that point. Like he's just not quite like he's beefed up more than he did in like the initial scenes with him. Like the muscle mass is there, and like the hair is pointed correctly, but it's just not quite the right color.
Not quite the right color.
So it's like he's so close. He's like 0.99.
And then
Frieza's like, oh, well, I'm just going to kill your dad, and then that'll really set you off.
So that's actually a great scene where Frieza's like, well, Goku fought real good that one time that Krillin died.
And he
loved Krillin.
It actually like shows the like oh no!
So then he goes and finds Krillin and kills him.
Again, yeah.
My first response was, is it going to bring Krillin back and kill him?
Yeah, right.
But, He then, like, beam laser or whatever, shoots...
Literally called Death Beam.
Death Beam, thank you. He Death Beams Paragus. And he's like, oh no, Broly, your father was killed by sheer accident! And, like, does a big shrug, like he's on the fucking... Whose line is it anyway?
Yeah,
where he's
much.
Like... then Broly goes butt shit crazy.
And then he goes actual Super Saiyan. And at this point, he's just fighting Goku.
Yeah.
So Vegeta's like, what the fuck's taking so long? So then he jumps in and they fight Broly a little bit together, but he's still kind of overwhelming them. And so
as per a conversation had that we didn't mention just like a couple of minutes prior, where Piccolo was like, hey, it's me, Piccolo, your good friend, Piccolo. I can sense that you're having some trouble. Everything good? And Goku's like, I don't want to say it, but there's a chance that I might teleport to you instantly in like the next 4 seconds. And Piccolo's like, And so, Vegeta and Goku are fighting Broly, and they kind of, like, see Frieza, and so they kind of, like, fly up a cliff that Frieza's standing on, and then both fly past Frieza, so Broly chases them up, and then is just, like, in Frieza's face. So, they kind of tag off with Frieza for the fight, but Frieza you take this one, homie.
Yeah, and then they instant transmission to Piccolo, and begin discussing the fusion dance.
Yes, which is a very... kind of goofy scene.
Yes.
Like, it's bordering on gay panic humor, like, a little bit, where, like, Vegeta's like, I don't want to do that fruity dance or whatever, and it's like, alright, Vegeta, we get it. Like, chill, dude.
He's just too proud to do stupid dance, because it is a stupid dance.
Oh, it is, for sure.
But he did a dumb dance for Lord Beerus, and
he did do a dumb dance for Lord Beerus,
so he wouldn't get pissed off.
Yep. So...
maybe he considers this to be less on the line with Lord Beerus, but... anyway, so they do it, and they fuck it up a couple times, and then it's like...
we get fat Gogeta, and we get old Gogeta, and it's hilarious.
And then in between that is just mixed, like, cuts in with Frieza just getting the ever-loving shit kicked out of him by Broly.
Like, he goes gold form during this fight.
Yep.
And still is getting his, like, taint stomped into his cranium.
He's getting fucked with his own tail.
It's true.
Like, so that happens. And then... yeah, so then they decide on a name after they get actual Goku. Or Gogeta.
They're like, we gotta get a great name. It's gotta be Kakarita. What? No, Gogeta. Alright, anyways, Gogeta,
So they do the Gogeta thing, and they instant transmission back, and then they fight Broly for realsies. And then I think at this point, somewhere in this fight, Broly does, like, the actual, like, full-on, like...
he goes, like, neon green...
like, legendary
anger
Super Saiyan,
mode, yeah.
Like, super spiked up hair. They do that whole thing. And then, then there's another, like, probably, like, 40 minutes to half an hour of that happening.
Yep.
And then it shows the aliens who Frieza has given the Dragon Balls to for safekeeping.
This, again, is Thirsty Girl and
Nacho Libre.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Nacho Libre. I like that.
So they have the Dragon Balls, and they're like, well, what are we going to do? They're like, if this fight keeps going, that one dude that's 2 dudes is going to kick the shit out of Broly, and he's going to kill him. We don't want our new friend Broly to die.
And so when they do go to conjure the Dragon Balls to bring Shenron about, they've got like a gun to the back of Frieza's right-hand man. They're like, read the instructions, idiot! And he unfolds this piece of paper, and he's like, it says to wish for whatever you want. And then Thirsty Girl's like, well, I really thought that would be more difficult.
That was easy, but...
Yeah. Yeah, so...
karate chops.
And what she wishes is that Broly was back on his own planet, like the one that the
planet he was raised on, is what she says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that happens like right before, like, I forget what it was.
It was super death Kamehameha.
It was like Kamehameha, but like usually when they're fused, they don't just do Kamehameha.
Big Bang Kamehameha.
Yeah, they didn't say Big Bang.
It looked like the Big Bang Because it was the super huge blue beam.
No, they already did the star one, like the galaxy creating one before that, and then the last one
Right.
they were like the I think it was just a Kamehameha, but usually it's like Big Bang Kamehameha or like Final Kamehameha.
So this was the Starfucker Kamehameha.
Sure, we'll call it that. So it was about to kill Broly, and then he gets teleported away to this faraway planet.
Yes, Planet Vampa.
Planet Vampa, and then the aliens are like running away. Like our good aliens, our thirsty alien and our orange boy are running away. And Frieza's like taking aim with his death ray, and then Gogeta's like, probably don't do that.
Hey, take it from me, the person who could definitely kill you. Probably don't do that.
And then Frieza's
Say
like...
it, Chief.
And then Frieza says something about how I'm going to destroy this planet one day, and then disappears. But
one
really,
day I'll return.
You know it's not true. As long as either or both of those people are alive, you know that is not happening.
Yeah. So, Broly is teleported off of Earth. Gogeta unfuses, I presume, at some point.
30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know, but they don't show it. So.
They don't show it.
Frieza leaves without having killed Thirsty Girl or Nacho Libre. Nacho Libre and Thirsty Girl fly off into space, and we hit the epilogue. So, in the epilogue, Thirsty Girl and Cheeto Boy show up on Planet Vampa to find Broly doing what Broly does best, killing bugs and eating their legs.
And eating bugs, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, pew, Goku appears. And they're like, hey, what the fuck? And they're like, yeah, we're going to protect Broly. And he's like, can you guys chill for a second?
Let the Saiyans speak.
I'm here to hang out with my good friend Broly. And Broly kind of like does like a smirk.
Yeah.
Where it like a knowing smirk. And Goku's like, I've got these great capsules that my friend Bulma made for me. And he's like, chucks one, and it turns into a house that's like with indoor plumbing. And they're like, how did you conjure plumbing?
Yeah.
And then he's like, I've got all of these good beans that restore all of your health and power if you're playing a Dragon Ball game on the PlayStation 2.
Yep.
And they're like, well, oh boy. And he's like, I just want to have the opportunity to come back and spar with my good friend Broly. Because I thought I was strong as fuck. And then I met him and I was like, wow, that's strong as fuck. And so the entire time they're like, well, you never know if we'll still be here. And he's like, well, as long as you're nearby, I can always find you.
I can smell you.
Goku's like, it literally doesn't matter.
Yeah, it would never matter.
As long as you're somewhere
I can smell your blood.
As long as you're somewhere in the known universe, he can instant transmission to Otherworld, hang out with King Kai, find you, then teleport to you immediately.
And like the sentiment of everything that he's saying throughout the sequence is, I just want to make sure that Broly's healthy so that I can come here and beat the shit out of him sometimes.
Yeah.
And Broly like the entire time was like knowing smirk, knowing smirk, he smiles.
Broly's like, yeah, we fight now. That's what we do.
Yeah. So the whole like climax, like the entire big fight at the end of the movie was just like a lead up to like Goku and Broly becoming really good buddies.
Yeah.
It was super good.
It was very good. And then after that, like, Goku teleports back home, presumably, and roll credits.
Yeah, and credits did roll.
They did roll.
Alright, so that was, I think, a pretty succinct plot synopsis.
Totally.
So I'm going to start Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of the movie?
I liked it. I mean, oh shit. Yeah, no, I really like the fighting animation. It was a good mix of like drawing and 3D.
Yeah,
I found with the environments.
They only did the 3D like a little bit in it too. Most of it was like it had a really good like
the hand drawn 90s.
Yeah, like I don't know if it was hand drawn or if they just replicated that art style.
But it looked great.
But like it was like a very like 90s anime. And I think they did that on purpose to kind of call back to the original Broly movies.
You gotta
must have.
And like I'm totally into that because it looked fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also like just the whole the Broly plot where he's not just big, dumb, angry man.
Yeah.
Want to kill Goku.
They like personified him very effectively.
He's
like,
not just
they did do that.
He's not just a Super Saiyan Neanderthal.
Oh, we missed the most important part. They asked the alien and Broly.
Right at the end.
The aliens ask Goku for his name, and he says...
So, sorry, just to set the stage. Goku's about to teleport out.
Yeah.
Of the epilogue where he's come to Planet Vampa to tell Broly that they're going to be best friends.
Yeah.
And the aliens are like kind of warming up to him while he's speaking because they're like understanding that he's not like a bad guy.
And Goku's pretty charismatic. So
exactly. He's a charming fellow. And so Thirsty Girl goes, but what's your name?
And then Goku goes, oh, my name? It's Goku. And then he looks at Broly and he says, but Broly, you can call me Kakarot.
Pew, pew, pew,
And
pew.
then we roll credits.
Fuck, that was awesome.
Just like cool because it's like he just goes by his Saiyan name, I guess. Like,
he just respects it, understands it, and knows that means hustle.
Totally. So yeah, that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like cool little moments in there. Like we got to see Goku's mom,
which was dope.
That was cool, yeah.
and I think she's been in one of the manga things before. Like there was like a little side story and she was in it. But we also got to see Kid Raditz hanging out with adult Nappa and Kid Vegeta,
which was fucking buck wild.
Yeah, that was very good.
And Kid Vegeta was like, he was unfazed by genocide.
He's like, he's like, his reaction to his entire race being destroyed was, now I'll never get to be King Vegeta.
Those weak bitches. Yeah.
Pretty much.
The soy boys.
Basically.
Alright, but Lucas, we cut you off.
Oh, fuck, we missed the repugnant joke.
Oh,
fuck. Alright, so, yeah, sorry, Luke, you bring up a good point. I'm going to do a quick rundown on this one. There's a bit where, Frieza shows up and it's like right when he's introducing Paragus and Broly, and he's like, yes, and I found them on the most repugnant of planets and blah 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 blah, and like goes on this long diatribe, and then at the end Goku's like, wait a minute, what does repugnant mean? It's like classic Goku. And then at the end when he's arriving with the pills that have like all of the life resources and health giving benefits and
the
a house. Exactly. He's like, well, I heard that Broly was raised on a planet that was pretty repugnant. And it's like, you just know he still doesn't know what that word means, but he's like, I heard it was true.
I know the context for it, but not the full meaning.
Yeah. It's like Todd Ingram and Scott Pilgrim being like, I don't know the meaning of the word, and then the little text bubble shows up and it's like, he seriously doesn't. Anything else, Luke?
No, I mean, in a nutshell, yeah, fighting, animation, funny jokes, it had it all.
Yeah.
For me, it kind of like, I really liked the movie. I thought it was really good. I really like what they did with Broly's story. I liked kind of pretty much every beat was good for me. The problem that I have with it is kind of the problem that I have with a lot of Dragon Ball from kind of like mid to late Z and a lot of Super, which is that I really like the like actual animated fight scenes, but I feel like more and more often they cut to like the wide shots where it's just flashes of light as someone gets punched. And then someone gets punched real hard, and there's like a 30-second shot of them sliding backwards.
Yes.
So there was a lot of that, but there was also a lot of like the well choreographed stuff that I do like. So it did kind of balance out.
And just like to what I mentioned during the movie that of course was not recorded at this point. Those like wide angle shots of like a flash of light, they're kind of uninteresting, and they kind of feel like a almost a cop out.
Sure.
To the credit of what I think they are trying to achieve, like, it feels like they're trying to show you the scope and the scale of the fight. So it's like, they zoom all the way out on, like, a huge mountain range, like the size of the Canadian Rockies or whatever, and you see these, like, flashes that happen, like in the top right-hand corner of the screen, and then one in, like, the bottom middle, like, within seconds of each other. And it's like, you kind of understand that it's like, this is how much space they're trying to cover, and this is how big the punches are, and, like, it's so big you could see it from outer space, and, like, I get that, but I agree, it kind of feels cheap.
There's a really cool shot in I think it's, like, it's the Tournament of Power arc opening for Dragon Ball Super, where there's like, it's like a bunch of people fighting, and then there's like one shot where there's like one of the Wolfmen, and he just gets the like shit knocked out of him by Goku, and it's just like a really well animated like series of punches and kicks from Goku, and then like it kind of like it's very quick, and then it like slows down for a second as this guy's like dazed, and then Goku does like a big kick and like knocks him off screen, and like that kind of shit where it's like super well animated, even if it's like a little too fast to follow. I really like, but like my favorite Dragon Ball is the original Dragon Ball. I really like the well choreographed, not too fast to follow ones from like not too hard to follow fights from the Tournament of Power arcs.
For sure.
But like I respect the like when they do take the time to slow down and actually do like a good series of animated like punches and kicks. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And there were definitely moments like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, it was much less of the sort of the cheap feeling, scoped out fighting than I expected.
Yes.
Which was awesome because the zoomed in stuff that they showed was like not just like scenes of well choreographed punches and kicks, but also like interesting camera movement where it's like they place the camera on Broly's foot when he does like 7 big kicks in a row, and you're like, oh shit,
so it's just
we
like
are in the
spinning
scope of that kick. Yeah, like,
and there was some POV shots as well. Like there's one where it's like Broly's perspective and he like punches Goku in the face and you just see the fist fly out.
Through.
Oh, that was so cool.
That was good.
It looked like that Hajime no Ippo game that we played.
It looked like the Hajime no Ippo game.
Yeah.
Or Dragon Ball and Connect.
Or Dragon Ball Connect.
Don't you talk to me ever again.
I guess it did look like Dragon Ball Connect, huh?
Alright, so we did general thoughts from you two. I'm going to do general thoughts and then we should just like each try and rate the movie.
Sure. Yeah,
All right. So, like I said, I probably have the least good context for Dragon Ball. Like, I know quite of Dragon Ball just like through absorbing the content from like people I am friends with and like also being a big nerd who likes anime. So like I know a lot of things here and there. But the movie, it almost felt like it was made for somebody who didn't know all of the things, because when I had questions, the movie answered them for me.
Yeah, it was very like self-contained. Like it kind of stood on its own.
Yeah, and it's like it was cool having the context for the other things that happened. Like knowing immediately when somebody's like, it's Bardock. It's like, this is Goku's dad. I know him. Like, but then it's like, that's Kakarot. And then like, even if you didn't know that Kakarot is Goku, at the end of the movie, he goes, my name's Goku, but you, Broly, you can call me Kakarot. And it's like, if you had no frame of reference, if you were just watching this movie as the first bit of Dragon Ball media you had ever seen, you could follow it and make sense. Would be the sandwich.
But the thing about that is Vegeta does refer to Goku as Kakarot throughout the whole movie. He never calls him Goku.
And then also, like, when he Saiyans, he goes, Kakarot!
And as for the whole Bardock being Goku's dad, I feel like that connection is made pretty well evident by the hair.
Well, yes, but again, like, if you didn't have a frame of context for Dragon Ball, where you didn't know that, like, shape of hair meant immediate familial relation. Like, if you were just sitting down and this was the first thing that you watched, I feel like you could have followed along pretty effectively.
Probably, yeah.
Like, with he goes Saiyan, and we all know what Saiyan looks like and what Saiyan means.
Yes.
And, like, Super Saiyan, of course. And then it cuts to Frieza speaking to Paragus, and Paragus is like, I thought Super Saiyan was a myth! And it's like, you don't even need to know what Super Saiyan means because it contextualizes it like 30 seconds later.
And it doesn't feel like it's contrived. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going out of its way to explain that, because, he would react.
They have established a character who doesn't have that context, who's learning that in that moment.
Also, it's cool for us to see, like, actual Saiyans that have grown up with that legend, like, react to it. Like, when Goku goes Super Saiyan for the first time, it's cool to see how Vegeta reacts to it. And, like, now Vegeta's doing that, and it's Paragus reacting to it, and that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I agree. So, I think the movie slaps.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's great film.
I'd say it punches very hard.
Punches so much taint. Lucas.
Yeah.
Give me an arbitrary rating scale. What do you give this movie?
I'll be lame and go like 6 out of 7 Dragon Balls.
That's pretty good. Ben?
I'm going to give it an 8-second long scream out of a possible 10.
Okay. I think I'm going to give this one a Super Saiyan Legend Broly out of Super Saiyan.
So it was like...
That's very good.
Over 100%.
Exactly! I liked it a lot! Alright, so this has been another anime film review with the boys over at TakingCreditFor. My name's Scott. See you guys on the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you thought.
My name's Ben. Thanks for cueing me in for the outro there, Scott.
Yeah.
And I'm Lucas, and I actually hosted for once.
Yeah.
It's true.
There's a cat here.
Put him in a shirt. Call him Bubsy.